Good evening. We are now in the year 2020. A lot of people feel that this is the year of clarity, of vision of things in life, whether it's mental vision, spiritual, or just what they really are. I think that rings true for me in my life. And 2019 has been a very eye-opening year for me on a lot of levels in my life. I want to give y'all a little food for thought, little dinner for the new year that we all celebrating and glad to see. And for those that's listening, I'm glad that you was able to make it to this new year. And hopefully this can be a little guide for you. So let's get right into this food for thought. This is a little dinner dish for y'all, full of substance and nutrients. The title is The Difference Between Relatives and Family. Now, in my opinion, the difference is between relatives and family is, first of all, your relatives is the ones that are related to you through relation of blood or connection through bloodline, versus sometimes family can be that as well, and sometimes they are not, but they treat you as such. In my opinion, family always, genuine good family folks, they treat you as such from day one. You know, it's open arms, it's welcoming, is getting to know you for you, versus relatives. You know, they might sit back and say hi and look at you, but kind of distance, you know, and whisper upon the group of individuals that they used to, trying to see where you coming from, you know, see the type of characteristics you show, and most definitely don't let you be related to them in a way that they may frown upon due to who your father or your mother may be, which I think is a very horrible thing for anyone to be judged from that. But I do understand as well, you know, as the saying go, the apple don't fall too far away from a tree, and that can be a good or a bad thing. But if it's a bad thing, it most definitely can weigh in on you. It can be unfair for people to already prejudge and label you due to who you connected to that you had no control of, you know. Don't get me wrong, we all are judged by our actions. You know, that's going to help, you know, anyone determine your characteristics of who you are and your personality. So I do understand that as well. But you got sometimes relatives, they just want to see you for what they want to see you for, or what they didn't heard from other people to see you as, instead of being an individual, thinking for themselves and wanting to get an understanding of who you are for their own personal reasons, not based off of anybody else's story or lines that they may have delivered. Because the truth of the matter is always three sides of a story. You know, it's the two individuals. Sometimes you got to bring them together, or you got to listen to both sides separately and then put it all together in your own mind to determine what's what and what ain't. So yeah. But yeah, that's what I think. You know, relatives, they're gonna sit back, they're gonna look, watch, try to see what they didn't heard about you, if it's true. Versus family, they didn't heard whatever about you, but they got common sense and they're not cowardly. Because that's what I consider a person that judge and put label on people off the riff without taking the time to get to know them, ask them questions, talk to them one-on-one. Those is like cowards, you know, and that's mostly the flock sheeps, you know. They like to judge and just go off of there, put a label on you. But if the shoe was put on the other foot, they wouldn't like it. But for some reason, contradictory, they seem to do that to others. Versus, you know, in my opinion, family or individual, you know, they're gonna give you a chance and a platform to reveal who you really are, and they're gonna ask questions if they're concerned enough. I know that's how I am. You know, anything I hear about relatives or family, you know, I listen, you know, and we all got our own minds, so we're gonna have our opinions, but I try not to judge, and I always end the conversation no matter who I'm talking to, because some people, once again, relatives, like to bring the divide, so they'll take what you done said to them and run back to the group or the flock, or even to the individual, and tell them what you said, and sometimes might even twist it, just to see that reaction, to see that divide. And that right there is not a family individual. That's just a relative. That's just an individual, you know, that want to see any divide in any union. But always in my conversation or my thoughts when something is shared with me that a relative or family member is going through, always end it with, you know, well, I wish them the best, you know, and I don't know how I would have reacted or what I would have done if I was in their shoes. That's just my reality. That's just my truth. And if I care enough, or I have enough time to try to help them out in that situation, you know, I'm not gonna just put a label on them until I have tried to help them myself. You know, whether it's just talking to them, hopefully they feel comfortable enough, and with talking to me about whatever didn't happen or what they going through. I'm not gonna go back and say, yeah, I heard such and such, and you went through this and went through that, and you know, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna let them feel comfortable enough to open up and tell me their side of whatever they're going through or what didn't happen to them. And from there, you know, try to give them some help, even if it's just suggestions on maybe how to view whatever they're going through, or some guidance to someone or somewhere that can help them in that situation. And if I can't do that, then I'm gonna back up and just wish them the best. You know, I'm not gonna, as the OGE40 say, murder mouth anyone, you know, especially when you're dealing with shiesty individuals as relatives, you know, for them to go back and twist up shit or cause a divide between you and folks for unnecessary reasons besides their own of needing to fill their drama tank, which a lot of people like to do that. Relatives to me are ones that they never had nothing to give back, you know, but they come around always with their hand out, you know, and that's a selfish individual as well. You know, you can have some of them as co-workers, you know, want to throw your work off on you, but never acts or attempt to try to help you out, you know. And you got relatives like that, you know, got their hand out. Anytime they come around, they getting something from you, whether it's money, clothing, information, even your energy, you know. But when it come around to you needing something, not saying that you should do anything with the intent to look for something back. Everything should always be genuine if you consider yourself a genuine, real individual. Everything you do should be genuine from the heart, because you want the best for individuals, and you want to help people to better themselves and be dependent on themselves. But relatives, yeah, they come around and get what they can get. Usually don't have nothing of substance or equal value to give back, you know. And if you ask them or question them about that, they might even get an attitude, you know. Even might have a mind frame of, well, we family, you know. I thought that's what family's supposed to do. It's like, yeah, it applies to you too, you know. It's just like a bank account. You can't keep withdrawing and not put nothing in, because eventually if you keep doing that, you're going to be in the red. You're going to be negative, you gonna owe some late fees. You know, you gonna be in the hole. So a lot of people they're like that. You know, just take. Don't give nothing back. You know, and that's just not how the universe works. This is not how life works. You know, at any level. You know, even if you go to a job, you have to put in work before you receive a check. You know, so that's one thing that I most definitely recognize as you know, what relatives is versus family and how they view things. You know, the other thing is they quick, like I stated earlier, they quick to talk about you behind your back. You know, instead of seeing you go through something and pulling you to the side one-on-one. At least that's how I like to do, and just having a one-on-one conversation about what's going on. Nah, they get the scoop, and they on the phone, they on text, they on, you know, whatever, you know, talking about you. Yeah, did you hear this about such and such? You know, ain't that crazy? I know. Yeah, I knew they was going this. I knew they was going that. I told you. And even laugh at it. And you can be going through some horrible situations at the time. Some very traumatic times in your life, and they get a kick out of it. Talking amongst each other, you know, or behind your back with the other ones that's so-called family, but really relatives. You know. But yeah, versus family, they gonna come holler at you. You know, they get the word from somebody, and it might be a murder mouth individual, or a person that just likes seeing drama and seeing people at negative areas in their life, so they can laugh off of that. But family, they're gonna get in contact with you. You know, if they feel that y'all had that type of a relationship where they can ask you straight up, yeah, you know, what's going on with you? Everything all right? You know, or if they get straight to the whole deal, what's going on with you? You know, and then, like I said, they're gonna help you, whether it's with giving you some type of advice, some type of guidance, or somewhere to go to help you in that situation, or even if it's just the ear, you know, and they ain't gonna take it no further than you and them, you know, and they sure ain't gonna be laughing at your demise or what you going through, you know. So that's the difference even in that situation of relatives and family, you know. Family, they love to see you down. They just preying on your failures. They sit back laughing, and yeah, they said they was gonna do this. Let's see how far they get with that. It's crazy. Sometimes you get married and you have those so-called family / relatives at your wedding, and they damn near betting, seeing how long you gonna last. You know, ready to pick out the flaws. And the crazy thing about it, they got the same type of flaws or they worse. You know, versus family, they gonna say, hey, I done been through this, and I done messed up here. You know, let me give them some guidance on how to survive and do better than what I done. You know, that's the difference between relatives and family. They ain't gonna come around and visit, you know, unless it's the word been put out that you done got a new car, a new house, or you doing something to better your life or your family. You know, they just come around just to see. You know, that's the real nosy ones. You know, those type of relatives, just nosy. You know, they ain't coming to see where they can contribute or to give you props and congratulate you. You know, they ain't gonna call you, check and see how you doing, unless they done got some word that you're not doing too well, or you trying something new, so they want to call and be nosy and see what's going on. And, you know, but nothing to give back that's worth substance or value to help you out in your process, whether negative or positive. You know, versus family, they gonna come by and check you out. Hey, I ain't want nothing, just want to come by, see you, see how you doing. You know, even if it's once a year, or even if it's on your birthday, they gonna holler at you. You know, by phone, whether it's calling you or texting you, hey, happy birthday. You know, or they gonna swing by and check you out. Versus relatives, nah, you gonna get none of that. You know, unless it's something that's a benefit to them in some kind of way, whether it's gossip or what they feel they can mooch off of you, whether it's energy, money, resources, that's the only time you're going to hear from them, Another thing with relatives versus family, they're going to give you bad advice, Sometimes it's kind of like the, what's it called, Slumdog Millionaire, or the dude at the end, I think Drake even put it in his song, at the end of the game show, and tortured him and tried to see how he knew all these answers. And, the host of the show purposely, while he was in there washing his hands and the mirrors was foggy, purposely wrote down the wrong answer. You know what I'm saying? Just so he wouldn't win that $1 million, but he didn't truly understand that this young man had been through some things and survived it, so he knew the answer. You know what I'm saying? And you got some relatives like that too. They give you bad advice intentionally. And some of that bad advice is stuff that they didn't done and tried and it didn't work for them. But they so miserable and don't have real good, true intentions for you. And of course, it starts with them. They ain't got nothing for themselves. Because if you love yourself and got intentions for yourself, you're going to have that for others automatically. So they don't have good intentions for themselves, so they damn sure ain't going to have it for you. And they'll tell you things and give you guidance and information to intentionally watch you fail. So you can be part of them. You can be part of that crabs in the barrel theory, which is very true. It took me to experience that with a bucket full of crabs at an Asian shop to really grasp hold of that conception or that statement or that saying of crabs in the barrel. And I ain't gonna go on with that, but that was an eye opener for me when I was younger. Just witnessing that, how they latch on to each other to the point that the one I was holding, it broke his arm off because they ain't want him to go. It's like 3 or 4 of them hanging on to that one that I picked up out the basket. Broke his arm off, and I felt bad. I had to put it back in there because it was like, damn, that's reality. So-called relatives or family that's really relatives, they will pull you down. They don't want to see you fly or go nowhere, to the point that they will break something on you. Some will take your life, but that's the difference between family and relatives versus, family. They gonna protect you for one, whether it's in your face or behind your back, they gonna protect you and they ain't gonna let no harm come your way, and they gonna give you the best advice that they got. Even if they put themselves out there and expose their flaws, is what they done, they gonna keep it real with you and let you know, yeah, I done that, man, and or young lady, it didn't work for me. That this is what happened to me. I don't know if you want to travel down that road. It might not be too good for you. Because this is what happened to me. But if you feel that you can have a better outcome, hey, go for it. But I'm just telling you what I've been through trying to do that. It didn't work for me. And if they ain't got the information, they're gonna try to point you in the right direction of those or places that may. That's the difference between family and relatives on that note, when it comes to advice. Another thing that I realized with advice and talking to so-called family or relatives is, relatives, they'll use your dirt or your bad times against you. And don't get me wrong, these can be people that you work with that you don't look at as family or relatives, just associates at work or anybody that can do this. But most times, excuse me, it's the ones that's related to you through the bloodline, and you can even have so-called friends, lifetime friends that betray you in this area of you talking to them about something, wanting some advice, and they bring that shit up and use it against you. They throw it back up in your face, especially if you're trying to help them out in the situation, you let them know where they did wrong. be quick to, oh, well, I remember when you did this. I know you ain't talking. It's like, hold up. You ain't talking about me right now. And yes, I did do that. I had to deal with the consequences of that. Because in this life, you can do anything you want. But you got to be willing to deal with the consequences of it. Which a lot of people don't want to. You know, they think in their mind that they can do whatever, say whatever, dress however, talk however. And people supposed to be cool with that. You know, nah. Everybody got to deal with the consequences or the reactions of what they say and do in this world. That's just universal law. Or if you're religion, you know, I'm quite sure it's in there. And one of the good books or guidance books about that as well. But yeah, you know, they quick to throw up in your face hard times in your life that you've been through and overcame when you're trying to help them and being real with them about what they going through. Versus family, they ain't gonna do that. They gonna sit back, they gonna listen. Like, yeah, you right. You know, because they realize that it ain't a tit for tat. It's not time to, you know, and that's an individual thing too. A person that holds themselves accountable. I wish that'd be a video that I speak on about accountability. But just individuals, period, that hold themselves accountable, they can take that. You know, they can understand, no, it ain't about you right now. We talking about me. I came to you to talk to you about the situation, and you giving me your advice from a real place. You know, and yeah, sometimes that can be tricky too, but you know, you're determined that by just some of the things that I done laid out here between the difference of relatives and family. Because, you know, sometimes people will try to use your down points, which we all get vulnerable. No matter how old you are, we all hit a state of vulnerability. And, you know, people can sometimes, that never had good intentions for you, can use that to just spiral you down even further, or step on you when you come to them. You know, just manipulators, you know. But genuine good people, family-like people, nah. They're going to hear you out with an open mind, open ear, and an open heart. They're going to give you the best advice that they can give you to help you out or lead you in the right direction, or even to the right person or place that can help you out in that situation, you know. But they're going to keep it real with you. They ain't going to sugarcoat shit, you know, which I know we live in a world of that. A lot of people can't face the realities of life, even with themselves. So it's quick to numb it. It's quick to shield it. You know, clothing, makeup. You know, even with the technology of just different things that people use and devices and things to cover up the truth about themselves and about life. Everybody can't always handle that. You know, the illusion is better to live in and to digest mentally, spiritually, versus the truth. You know, it's gonna make you look at things differently, and it's gonna make you move differently and start analyzing yourself most times. Another thing, you know, when I spoke on family versus relatives, you know, when it comes to supporting you know, they will spend their free time, money, and energy to help you with an issue or support you in any kind of way, and they don't look for nothing back, you know. Now, universal law, and if you're a person that's not selfish, you're going to always give back to those that didn't look out for you. To me, that's disrespectful. That's like spitting in somebody's face. You don't give props, you don't give appreciation, or even when you make it somewhere, you don't say to a person, or you come to a person, here go a little something, put in your pocket. You know, you're supposed to give back. Especially people that helped you out. You're supposed to. You know, that's part of you. That's how everybody help one another and help everybody grow and build. Versus just constantly taking. Like I said, relatives, family. Relatives, just take. Don't ever get nothing back of substance or equal value or appreciation note, you know? Versus relatives, like I said, relatives, they ain't giving you nothing, you know? ain't helping out with nothing. They can see you struggling to pick up a orange off the ground that then fell out your bag, and they just gonna look. Now, if they do help you out, then they gonna ask if they can get a piece of that orange. You know, and I'm just using something very simple and minor, but you know, you can take it to another level. Look at things and people in your life. You can see what I'm saying is very true. You know, they ain't about to help out with nothing unless it's coming with a tag. You know, you gonna have to pay back. You gonna have to give back, and don't get cute and act like you don't remember, because they will remind you. You know, but you know, family, they gonna do it automatically and keep it moving. And whatever you give back, cool, they appreciate that. Like I said, you should. That's law to me. You should give back. People that help you out, it's only right. Because it takes a team to even make a dream possible. Anyone that walk around here talking about me, I done it, all me. Yeah, that's a person you don't want to be around, you know. Because nothing in this earth or this world or this country that we live in takes one person. You're not, ain't nobody that gifted and that talented. It takes a team, you know. It's just you, the person that has the most passion and vision on something, so you willing to take the lead on it and be up front. But there's people behind the scenes that's always helping out in any situation. Even the president, he got a team. You know, the CEO of a company got a team. You know, the coach has a team. You know, so it takes a team. Like I said, those relatives, no, they ain't helping unless they see a way where they can get in and fit in and win off of it. And the thing about it, what they fail to realize with any individual, if you genuine, you gonna eat. You know, if you dealing with a person that don't have this false boss mentality where it's all about them, you know, you gonna eat. They gonna make sure you eat. They ain't gonna forget you. You know, for those that got that false boss mentality, yeah, they might take from you, never get nothing back. But you being a genuine person, you done your part. That's on them. That's where they failed at. You know, and what they say, what goes up must come down. You gotta be careful about that, because you're gonna pass the same people going down that you did when you was going up. So we all gotta be careful about that. You know. But for the most part, you know, I know for me, you know, I try to make sure I remember those that helped me out. I try to give back some kind of way, whether it's with my time, energy, money, to let them know that it was appreciated. And most times, it stays heavy on my heart and mind. You know, I'm gonna give back. I'm gonna find a way to give back to them to let them know I was appreciated. You know, before time escapes me, I gotta make sure I reimburse that energy. You know, let them know, hey, I appreciate you. I see you. I appreciate you. You know. But yeah, for some, I just straight take. So yeah, that's my food for thought about the difference between family and relatives. The major keynote to me, as we all go into this new year, 2020, seeking more clarity of life, most definitely for yourself as an individual. Ask yourself, who are you in this situation? Are you the relative, or are you the family? And you ain't gotta answer this to me or to nobody else, but to you. Be truthful with yourself, and that's the key to everything in life. Being real and truthful to yourself. And I know it's hard to do in this world that we live in of illusions, you know. But at least start here in this new year. Who are you? What defines you as being who you say you are? If you call yourself family, do you have some of these key principles that you roll off of? Are you genuine? Or do you play the tit for tat? Well, they treat me this way, so I'm gonna treat them that way. You roll like that, you should cut those people off. That's your choice. That's the many options that you have. so that you can continue being who you are. Therefore, you can attract who you are and what you're about. If you consider yourself to be a relative because of your actions and what you do, and don't get me wrong, some of the things I named off, I know we all got our own individual lives, so we all don't have time to call and check on or come by and spend a little time. That's understandable, but at least treat people how you want to be treated. You can't expect something out of anybody or anything in life that you don't give first. So if you ain't calling, if you ain't texting, if you ain't checking on, then keep it like that. Understand your position. You're just a relative to that individual. You don't consider them family, and you don't act as family to them, so they shouldn't to you. But if you want to better yourself, become family, and create that bond, that unity, and practice it more than you talk it. And that goes for me too. I'll leave y'all with that food for thought. Let it marinate on the tongue of your brain. Let it slowly digest. And most definitely get the substance out. Peace.